welcome to the news on Magic Bricks Now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Historic day. Finally, the goods and service tax bill becomes a law. Experts hail it the biggest tax reform since independence.
Government of Haryana has in fact forwarded this issue to Advocate General of Haryana for legal opinion, and as per the legal opinion will take further course.
Now another hurdle for Dwarka Expressway. Over 500 ousted residents up in arms as the Haryana Development Authority or HUDA refuses to compensate them with alternative plots. And Mumbai has over 2,000 potholes that need fixing. The BMC chief asks staff to work round the clock as the commissioner sets another deadline for pothole-free roads. This is the 7th such deadline set by the BMC. Also in the news, over 2 dead and several missing as bridge on Mumbai to Goa Expressway collapses. 2 state buses and several vehicles washed away. Maharashtra CM Devendra Fadnavis takes stock. Starting with our big focus on Magic Bricks Now, perhaps one of the biggest and the most crucial reforms, GST or Goods and Service Tax Bill, was passed unanimously in the Rajya Sabha. The GST bill aims to bring in a standard rate of about 18% and in turn replace other taxes like central excise duty, additional excise duty, service tax, additional custom duty, special additional duty, VAT, central sales tax, entertainment tax, entry tax, purchase tax, luxury tax and octroi. Now, after the passage of the GST bill, FM Jaitley spoke exclusively to Times Network's political editor Navika Kumar. Listen in.
I think it took time, but it showed Indian democracy at its best. People who had reservations, their questions were answered in the course of consultations over the last few months. Major national parties had a discussion and converged to a particular point of view. And I think without compromising on the basic fundamentals of the bill, we were able to bring all political parties and all state governments on board. There was only a solitary exception. And the fact that after such a long debate, the Rajya Sabha, which is a very divided house, has not only passed it but passed it unanimously. I have said that this is probably a great moment both for Indian democracy and Indian federalism. They are at their very best.
Mr. P. Chidambaram, the former finance minister, did make it a point to mention the fact that this bill, when it is brought as the central GST or the integrated GST, should be a financial bill and not a money bill. He's still playing at the number game that the Congress is having a overhang about?
Well, I think what is a money bill and what is a financial bill is neither a matter of assurance nor demand. It's a matter of the Constitution. The Constitution and the parliamentary practice is very clear as to what is a money bill and what is a finance bill. In the last 25 years, not a single taxation proposal came out only as a finance bill. They all came as money bill. That's the convention. I have a folder which I displayed in the House of all taxation reform bills which Mr. Chidambaram himself introduced in Parliament as money bills. Article 110 says, what shall be deemed to be a money bill? So anybody giving an assurance against the Constitution doesn't take the definition of a money bill. I have no intention of bringing the bill in one form or the other. In what shape it will come will depend on what is the draft finally approved by the GST Council, thereafter by the Council of Ministers.
But for the common man, Mr. Jaitley, the fact that he is insisting that this should not be a money bill, is it still the fact that the Rajya Sabha should not have a right to reject it? And once again, the Congress wants to have an upper hand over the BJP, at least as far as the Rajya Sabha numbers are concerned?
Let's be very clear. There is a 66-year-old practice since the Constitution came into the force. And that practice is supported by the Constitution itself. On certain categories of legislation, the primacy lies only with the Lok Sabha. That's a part of the Constitution itself. The directly elected house has that primacy. Now, if there are other matters which are added to that bill, then it becomes a finance bill and then it can come to the Rajya Sabha. Now, it will all depend on the nature of the particular bill. And that nature will depend on what the finance ministers of the state sitting with the centre will approve in the council. After all, that council will have 7 or 8 Congress finance ministers also. They'll have 2 CPM finance ministers also. And therefore, that's a body which reflects the cross-section of Indian political democracy.
Was the former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram laying a bait for you, Mr. Jaitley?
No, I am not getting into all this. I think the fact that Congress party today has supported it, I express my gratitude to them, and therefore I am not getting into a game of who was playing what tactics.
Mr. Jaitley, the cap of 18% is again something that came up during the debate. Do you think that debate has only been postponed for the moment?
You can't have a situation where the centre is expected to spend more, give more to the states, give more compensation to the states, and yet not be allowed to raise revenue. Then you will have a bankrupt centre. And that is why I said India is a union of states. For India to survive, the union must be strong. The union has to survive. Only then the states can be strong. Now, the guiding principles which the Empowered Committee has laid down are very responsible principles. That we'll bring the rate down from the present 27 to 30% levels, down significantly. But we need enough so that developmental activity can go on.
Just one last question about the common man. Some of the people feel there is an apprehension that services like eating out or air travel might become more expensive. What would you say to those people?
Manufacturing taxes certainly will come down. VAT taxes certainly will come down. At what level the services taxes are to be kept is a discretion of the GST Council. Now states will also have a say as far as service taxes are concerned. And therefore it will all depend on what the states eventually, along with the centre, decide.
Our focus is obviously the GST and the impact it will have on you, the homes that you buy. We're going to remember this moment wherever we were when it happened, because this will change the way you pay for services.
Now I think is the time to roll up our sleeves and get this implementation right. It
is indeed a historic day. We welcome it with open arms.
I think it'll change the way supply chain is done, from a traditional perspective, and I think it'll be very positive for new manufacturers and also for the industry.
The PMC believes that its compensation is not, kind of proportional to what it should be earning. They will have today the flexibility to increase taxes and cess on the common man.
It will take about a year before the GST actually comes into force, but it is, of course, a hallmark day for tax regulation and reform here in India.
Are you watching The Urban Debate? Only on Magic Bricks Now.
Historic day there. The crucial GST bill that was stuck for over a decade has been passed in the Rajya Sabha. Moving on, Union Cabinet has approved the Road Safety Bill. Now, this imposes a penalty of up to 10,000 rupees on drunk driving and 1,000 to 4,000 rupees for overspeeding. My colleague Deepa Rana joins us with more details on the phone line. Deepa, tell us what you're picking up.
Yes, Amita, the Cabinet has approved the Motor Vehicle Amendment Bill of 2016 and they have given a nod. Now, this important bill has major reforms in the transport sector and it is going to improve the transport a lot in the country. In fact, 5 lakh road accidents have been reported according to the ministry figures. And the important provisions of this bill include compensation for hit and run cases from up to 10 lakh in road accidents. And also an important provision is that in case of juvenile accidents and the offences committed by juveniles, the bill proposes offences to the owner or the guardian of the juveniles, which is an important move coming in. And also the earlier provisions have been revised and the fines for violating road norms have been increased up to 10% on every fine which is committed by the people on the road accidents. Back to you.
All right, Deepa, thank you for those details. Now, keeping with road safety, in Maharashtra, a bill to levy a road safety cess was tabled in the assembly today. The government has proposed to levy an additional tax of up to 10% of the current tax on new vehicles. This will be used to fund government's road safety initiatives. Ruchi Deshpande, who's been tracking the story, joins us on the phone line. Ruchi, tell us what the Transport Ministry is proposing at the moment.
Well, Amita, they're proposing the Maharashtra Transport Minister today presented this road safety cess bill in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. It's not been passed as yet. It's just presented. What they are planning to do with this is improve CCTV cameras, install them at major signals, train public transport drivers better, and install and repair defunct signals. They are basically aiming for citizen road safety over here. Well, note that this cess will basically be an additional tax on top of the current tax that you pay as a new car buyer. So this means that if you are a consumer, if you're looking to buy a new car, this will significantly raise the cost of your new car. But for now, we're looking at an upward revision of about 10% additional tax on this current tax. And note that it is just presented today. It will further go to the Maharashtra Council, after which it will go to the governor and then become an ordinance. So we're definitely looking at some time before this is actually implemented.
All right, Ruchi, thank you for those details. Now, keeping with the roads, news coming in on the 352 crore rupee BMC road scam. The Bombay High Court, we hear, has reportedly refused bail to the accused. Disha Shah, who's been tracking the story for us, joins us with more details on the phone line. Disha, tell us what you're picking up. What will happen to the 4 accused right now?
That's right, Amita. 2 chief engineers named Ashok Pawar and Uday Muratkar. Basically, they are the chief engineers from the BMC. They were arrested, in the first week of July this year, with regards to their alleged involvement in the 352 crore rupees road scam. In fact, police officials told the High Court on Wednesday that they were in hand in glove with the accused. That is, in helping those 6 tainted contractors by signing on all the documents and also helping junior level officers and employees of those 6 contractors to send estimations on the road repair work. So basically that report was then sent by the police officials to the BMC, and after that BMC suspended them those 2 executive engineers got arrested with regards to their involvement in the road scam, and in fact they had also appealed for bail, but the High Court on Wednesday rejected their bail appeal. In fact, remember that this is the 352 crore rupees road scam. That's what BMC claims, and in fact, till date, 26 arrests have already been made under this 352 crore rupees road scam.
Disha Shah getting us the latest on the Mumbai road scam there. Thank you so much for joining us. Moving on, BMC workers have been asked to work double shifts to fix the city's potholes. The orders have come from the BMC Commissioner, Ajay Mehta himself. Now, this is being done to ensure the civic body meets its latest self-set deadline of a pothole-free Mumbai in 15 days. My colleague Disha Shah gets us this exclusive.
Mumbai Municipal Commissioner Ajay Mehta has asked all the workers who repair potholes in the city of Mumbai to work double shift to ensure that citizens get a pothole-free ride in Mumbai. In fact, it has once again set a 15-day deadline to ensure that all the potholes are repaired in the city of Mumbai. In fact, surprisingly, a 3-day heavy monsoon showers have proved quite, worse for the civic body, as the pothole number count has increased from 185 to 2,200. That's exactly the number of potholes that still exist in Mumbai and are yet to be repaired in the city of Mumbai. In fact, right now also you can see I'm standing here at the CST, very close to the Bombay High Court and very close also to the Bombay Municipal Corporation BMC's office as well. And in fact, right now also you can see, in fact, when I scan through the entire stretch of the road, I myself found close to 40 potholes. And in fact, right now also you can see that there is a slow movement of vehicles on this particular road because of potholes. And lastly, Ajay Mehta has also directed the road department that the civic body had hired 2 companies on a trial and test basis who can repair potholes. So Ajay Mehta has asked one of the companies to be deployed on an immediate basis after 15 days to work for this monsoon and not for the next monsoon. Lastly, when I spoke to citizens, they are quite frustrated and they they told us that extending deadlines is not the solution, but they need a permanent solution to get rid of the pothole problem in Mumbai. This is Isha Shah reporting for Magic Bricks Now.
Now, with the Mumbai pothole menace speaking, we did a ground check on the pothole situation in Maximum City. Take a look at what our reporter Anandita Pagnas found.
I am standing at Rafi Ahmed Kidwai Marg in Wadala. This is the same pothole against which I had registered a complaint with the BMC via the MCGM app on the 18th of July. Today is the 3rd of August and absolutely nothing has been done. Now we know that the BMC had given itself an extended deadline till the 31st of August to clear any open potholes within the city. 3 days post the deadline and 15 days post the registration of the complaint, there has been absolutely no difference. Now there were other 3 locations within the city that we had registered a complaint at, them being Chembur, Sion and Lower Parel. Sion, the potholes have been filled but a shoddy job has been done. Chembur and Lower Parel, there has been no difference. It is the same situation at both spots. We will keep reporting this story at Magic Bricks Now until these potholes are filled. This is Anandita Pagnas for Magic Bricks Now.
Now, it's not just Mumbai that has pothole-riddled roads. In Delhi, the Congress party mounts pressure on the AAP government on the state of roads in what can be called an innovative mode of protest. Delhi Pradesh Congress Committee will be placing fake sharks and crocodiles inside potholes to symbolize the dangers on Delhi roads. Now, this form of symbolic protest was first seen in Bangalore last year when an artist put a fake crocodile inside a large pothole. Moving on, another hurdle for Dwarka Expressway. Over 500 ousted residents up in arms against Huda Haryana Development Authority after Huda Administrator Yashpal Yadav on Thursday passed a spoken order rejecting the claims for alternative plots of most Dwarka Expressway ousted living in New Palam Vihar. Residents now allege the Haryana government has cheated them. We caught up with Haryana Authority Yashpal Yadav. He says no wrong done.
The Dwarka Expressway has been stuck in litigation for a very long time. I have with me the Administrator of Haryana Urban Development Authority, Mr. Yashpal Yadav. So the Dwarka Expressway has been stuck for a very long time. Very recently, Huda has done a draw of over 109 flats, 109 allotments to various oustees, but there are people of Khidki Dhaula as well as New Palam Vihar who are now protesting against an out-of-court settlement which was promised to them last year. How would you want to say that?
Yes, we got an agreement between two parties and we honor that, in fact. But there is an issue of GPA, SPA agreement to sell and will, which is legally not admissible. In fact, Honorable High Court, while deciding this final terms of agreement, specifically ordered that the matter shall be decided on merit and in the light of a case decided by Honorable Supreme Court, that is Suraj Lamp Industries. So as per the order of Honorable High Court and Supreme Court, the GPA, SPA and other documents, they cannot be accepted and ownership cannot be granted on the basis of the same. So the government of Haryana has in fact forwarded this issue to Advocate General of Haryana for legal opinion, and as per the legal opinion will take further course.
When will Haryana Urban Development Authority hand over the Dwarka Expressway project officially to the NHAI?
The process is on. It's a long process. In fact, now NHAI is taking it as a project which they want to go for another extended lanes. They want it more than 10 lanes. Presently it is only 6 lanes highway. So they need more ROW. We have only 75 meters. They are demanding 90 meters. So once this issue is settled, we will hand it over to NHAI, and I'm very sure that within this month this issue can be settled.
Also, there's a metro project which has come up, which has been planned on the Dwarka-Gurgaon way, on the Dwarka Expressway line only.
Yes, it is expected that the median of this road shall be used for the metro, and we are planning accordingly.
So when can we expect construction on Dwarka Expressway to actually begin, considering so much of litigation as well as land acquisition hurdles which have now come up?
We are expecting to finish this job by December end. In fact, by the end of this year only, and by allotting plots in the second round, we will be able to settle all the claims which are pending with the Office of State Officer Gurgaon 1. And once we settle these all claims, we have identified land, we have marked it on Sajra, we have planned it on the field. We will hand over the possession, and as per the order of the court, we need to give them 6 months time, but the allottees, they are promising that as soon as we give them, they will try to shift within 3 to 4 months. So I do expect that by end of the year we will be able to finish this job.
So we can expect the construction on Dwarka Expressway to begin sometime in next year?
Within this year, not next year, within this year. By December end, we want to finish it off.
Thanks a lot. So thanks a lot for talking to Magic Bricks Now. That was the Haryana Urban Development Authority Administrator, Mr. Yashpal Yadav, talking to Magic Bricks Now.
Shifting focus to Maharashtra now, probe for major land scam underway. CIDCO, the Town Planning Authority of Navi Mumbai, has filed FIRs against 5 developers for using forged documents for building permits. These developers have allegedly begun construction in Navi Mumbai's Airoli and Kopar Khairne using these forged agreements. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has taken account of these illegal construction and has ordered a probe. Ruchi Deshpande gets us this exclusive.
In a major case of forgery of agreements, CIDCO, which is one of the civic bodies of Navi Mumbai, has gone ahead and registered 5 FIRs against 5 developers in 2 nodes of Navi Mumbai, Kopar Khairane and Airoli. The reason, these developers went ahead and forged the tripartite agreement that happens between CIDCO, the developer, and the consumer, and got a commencement certificate from the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporations for going ahead and building their projects. How did CIDCO find out about this? Well, CIDCO was on one of their unauthorized construction drives. When they found out the project that you can see behind me, they went ahead and cross-checked this with Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation, who indeed confirmed that the agreements were forged by these developers. So CIDCO has gone ahead, registered FIR against 5 of them, and managed to partially demolish one of the developers under construction building, as you can see behind me right now, which is an Airoli. Rest of the 4 developers have tenants staying in their project, so CIDCO will take some time to reach a decision on them, whether an eviction order is to be given or the like. Why is this significant? Well, this issue was raised in the Maharashtra Monsoon Assembly, where Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clearly pointed out that these constructions were illegal and that CIDCO and Navi Mumbai Police, or CBD Belapur Police, where this inquiry is ongoing, were within their rights to fully take this investigation going forward.
Meanwhile, big tragedy on the Mumbai to Goa highway. 2 Mumbai-bound buses have been washed away in River Savitri after a bridge collapsed in the Mumbai to Goa highway. Now, the SP of Raigad has confirmed 2 deaths. Massive rescue and search operation has also been launched. Maharashtra CM Fadnavis was seen taking stock of the situation. Our reporter gets us the latest.
Well, this is the old bridge which collapsed yesterday close to around 2 to 2:30 a.m. Behind me is the exact spot where you can look as to when the bridge collapsed last night, taking away along with it those 2 buses by the state-run transport corporation. But at the same time, what we are given to understand is that private vehicles also that were plying on this very bridge have also drowned. This is the mighty Savitri River. You can look at the strong currents, and what is hampering the current operations is that the muddy water as well as the strong currents of the very river. Also, at the same time, you have the rains which are playing spoil sport, as well as the local public which has been growing here. The numbers of them who have been growing, it has been a matter of concern to the local police, which has now been asked to try and clear them away. At the same time, remember, a massive relief rescue operation is currently underway. You can see a 4-member NDRF team that has been pressed into service, as well as a team of 35 rafters that have also been asked, along with a set of private divers, to try and get a sense of the debris, as well. At this point in time, what we are given to understand is that 2 bodies have been recovered, but at the same time, time, the sense and idea of the rescue team is to try and get certain sightings of the debris. Remember, not just 2 buses, but you also have private vehicles at the same time. The Coast Guard also has been pressed into operation, and a helicopter, meanwhile, at the same time is trying to get a sense, an idea of the sightings of the debris so that the rescue operations can be conducted very smoothly.
Very unfortunate incidents at Mahad in Raigad district on Mumbai-Goa National Highway. Yesterday, a bridge was washed out. There were heavy rains in the catchment area of Mahabaleshwar, which led to high pressure flooding on the river Savitri, and the bridge, which was very old bridge, got collapsed. In fact, there were 2 parallel bridges, one new bridge and one old bridge. The old bridge was constructed in the British times, and it was also used, a single lane traffic was used on that bridge, and that bridge, due to the heavy pressure of water, got collapsed. As of now, the reports which we have confirms that 2 state transport buses are missing. They were carrying in total 18 passengers, 1 driver each and 1 conductor each. Total number 22. Rest of the damage is, the assessment is being taken. The NDRF teams have reached, and they are trying their level best to have the relief and rehabilitation, and a massive search is also going on. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji spoke to me this morning. He also assured all help from the central government. All our officials, teams are trying to handle the situation, and right now a desperate attempt is being made to locate what all the buses have gone into the river. So all the teams are put together and they are trying their level best.
Coast Guard has also put the one chopper in the rescue and such options.
No, the entire NDRF team is there, and NDRF together with the Coast Guard, the rowing boats, the choppers, all type of equipments have reached there.
With that, we've completely run out of time here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
Our focus is obviously the GST and the impact it will have on you, the homes that you buy. We're going to remember this moment, wherever we were when it happened, because this will change the way you pay for services.
Now I think is the time to roll up our sleeves and get this implementation right.
It is indeed a historic day. We welcome it with open arms.
It will change the way supply chain is done, from a traditional perspective, and I think it will be very positive for new manufacturers and also for the industry.
The BMC believes that its compensation is not, kind of proportional to what it should be earning. They will have today the flexibility to increase taxes and cess on the common man.
It will take about a year before the GST actually comes into force, but it is, of course, a hallmark day for tax regulation and reform here in India.
Are you watching The Urban Debate? Only on Magic Bricks Now. You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magic Bricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magic Bricks Now.